milestone video for sure. Are you ready for the 4,500 gallon, 33 foot long aquarium build to go from a build project into an actual aquarium? Are you ready to see the wetland filter get constructed? Are you ready to see all the plumbing and pumps and how it's all going to work? Are you ready to find out why it took 2 weeks to get this video out? Promise you, I wasn't slacking. Something happened. Are you ready to see how the lighting's going to work on this? How are we going to light the aquarium and the riverbank and the wetland? Are you ready to find out what is this riverbank system I've been talking about? You know, how is it going to be built? What is it going to do? What is the purpose of this thing? What even is a riverbank system? Well, this is the video. This is the video. We take the 4,500 gallon build into the next stage, turning up an ecosystem. So by the time we're done with this video, it'll be time for aquascaping. So are you ready? Let's go. All right, so as much fun as it is to build big aquariums, I really do it to satisfy the need. I want to keep large fish in ecosystems. So I don't like a 500 gallon aquarium bare bottom with a couple big peacock bass floating around it. To me, that looks like a jail cell. I like ecosystems. So it's easier to do with smaller fish, right? Because you can have substrate and rocks and wood and plants. And if you stock it properly, you can have a reasonably realistic ecosystem where the inputs from the person are minimal and you have a quasi-functional ecosystem. But I also like big fish too. You see I like marine sharks and rays and groupers, and I like freshwater big cichlids and arowana and peacock bass and stingray and catfish and all that good stuff. So hence the 4,500 gallon. And to make this thing work, we need to have one heck of a filter system. So in this video, we are building the wetland upflow filter system from start to end. We're also going to be putting in the supports for the lights. We're going to get the lights started up so we can finally start looking at this thing with some proper lighting and not just some spotlighting. And of course, so once we build the wetland filter, we're going to run the plumbing for that all the way back down 33 feet that way, and we're going to set up the pumps and everything. We're going to have this thing ready to run as a functioning tank, which will allow us to then start on building that massive aquascape ecosystem. But before we get ahead of ourselves, let's build a wetland upflow filter. Okay, so here's the plan on the wetland upflow. So the pumps are going to be here. They're going to be suspended back over here in the water, and the plumbing is going to go that way and along the top, on top of the braces, all the way back. Again, 33 feet over to the wetland filter, and the plumbing is all going to come here. 1, 2, 3, 4 down, 4 down pipes. So it's going to be 1 inch plumbing this way, and then we're going to expand it to 1 1/4 inch plumbing going down into the wetland filter. And so here is the mock-up of the first level of the wetland filter. So you have the milk crates, which are creating the cavity underneath all of that aggregate. So the water, which will be coming down here and going underneath the milk crates into that cavity. And then what we're doing is we're connecting up the middle of these T's, cross pieces of plumbing. But what we want the water to do is to come down and then start distributing out everywhere into this cavity. We want to spread the water out and slow it down. So that's what's going to happen. There will be 4 downspouts coming in and breaking apart all the water into this cavity underneath. In the back here, these back 2 sections are where the cleanouts are going to be. So I'm going to be cutting holes in 2 of these, which will be on the front side of the filter, and that'll be the back side of the filter towards the wall. And I'll be attaching cleanout tubes, which you'll see shortly. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and cut these, measure and cut the cleanout tubes, and then measure all the lengths of pipe and get the lower pipe ready for the up pipes. And so what we're going to do is we're going to build all of this plumbing up, get it situated in there. We'll build the plumbing up, and then we'll work backwards this way towards where the pumps are down there. Okay, so I have things staged up here so that I can explain it, because once I get inside and start assembling this, it's going to be kind of tough to film. So what we have is, this is the back of the aquarium. This is where the water is being introduced down into the wetland upflow filter from the pumps. So it's being pumped from down there all the way to the other side, coming down this pipe, and now we're coming into this cavity, which is going to be underneath all that aggregate. So as you can see, the plumbing comes in and we just start diverting the water every which way. So we just want that water to disperse out. So we have a single channel on each side, and then we have a staggered double channel in the middle. So that's all 4 of our pumps. And then on the end over here, you see we have the clean out area. You can see we have this corrugated pipe that's been drilled and connected so that it's suspended in the air above this open cavity. And this is where we drop down our pumps or our tubes or anything we want to use to clean out the system as it inevitably gets filled up with mulm, because it will be successfully turning all of the waste into mulm. And this is basically just what I did, is I just cut a hole out in the 2 of the last blocks, and then suspended the tube with the twisty ties. So we'll have 2 clean outs that will be over here. So in the wetland filter, we have 1 clean out here and then 1 clean out here. So they're easy to get to. Between the 2 of them, you get good coverage over the whole filter, and they'll be lower than the lip of the aquarium, so you won't see them. You'll just see plants and everything growing out of it. So you won't see any of the nastiness, but we'll have easy access to get to cleaning it out. So that's essentially what we have here. There's going to be obviously a second clean out. I'll be doing that. I'll getting all the plumbing staged, and what I'm actually going to have to do is climb inside and assemble the first 6 aqua blocks with all the PVC pipe cemented together and everything. And I leave space over here for me to stand inside the wetland filter. And then once I'm done with this, I can then go ahead and add the final row and then climb out. And at that point, it'll be time to go ahead and put down our first level of rock aggregate. So let me get the rest of this cut, get everything inside there, get it cemented together, and then I'll show you what it looks like inside the actual wetland filter. Well, it is week 2 of Operation Keep Bamboo Sharks Pacified by Overfeeding, and I'm happy to say that it is working so far. As you can see, these guys are digesting away. They've been eating more often and more each feeding, and it is definitely keeping the peace in the 2,000 gallon until I can get these guys moved over to the 3,000 gallon. So no more predating on my groupers, hopefully. Okay, despite the fact that I ordered milk crates that are for aquarium filtration, they just sent me these regular milk crates. So yeah, I had to make some little modifications. So we just cut that so that we can do the plumbing, get it all glued together outside, and just easily slide it in. So I've got all those modified, and just getting one more clean out done, and then it's time to cement up all this pipe and get it moved into the filter box. Okay, there we go. There is the first layer of the wetland filter. So we have the standoff using the milk crates, sort of emulating what pondscapes we call an aqua block. We've got our 4 lines going down. Those will be straight once I start to add the aggregate. That'll hold them up in place. Same with the cleanouts. They'll be straight like that once the aggregate is in there. As you can see, there's 2 of those. So yeah, we have a massive filter, the beginnings of a massive filter. So now it's time for me to go get, I don't know, 4,000 pounds of aggregate and start putting it in here. So let me work on the first layer. So before this gets filled up with rocks, we're just taking a quick look at the wetland filter. We got the clean outs. You can see that there's the standoff, the milk crate / aqua blocks down there that are creating the standoff. We got some of the first rocks coming in, and we can see the pipes for the filtration coming up out of there. So we know that they go down and they distribute the water. And they've got some rough cuts right now, and then what I'm going to do is go ahead and trim those off, get those clean, and then we will start running pipes all the way down, and of course start working on the lights up here as well. Kind of what I'm doing is carrying in some rocks, and then when I get tired, I switch to the plumbing, and then carry some more rocks. Then when I get tired, switch to working on the lighting, and yeah, just keep going until we get it all done. With all the building going on and everything in the annex, sometimes it's nice to sit back and just appreciate having an aquarium basement. Because when taking a little break between moving literally tons of rocks, it's awesome to have a Planet African cichlid aquarium. Just to watch these guys cruising around, just so beautiful. You know, this is right next to my desk. It's what I talk about all the time, because just to the left of my desk, whenever I want to take a break, I have these guys every day entertaining me, you know, not only just with the bright colors and the interaction with them, but just the way they interact with the habitat that they're in, the generations of babies that are growing up in here. The fact that this tank started with 8 fish, and obviously has a lot more than 8 fish now. Well, I take that back. I did add 2 at one point, but then they've multiplied as well. It's also cool to see, you know, the river Turkana jewels, you know, living super peacefully with the mbunas. Just a pleasure of a tank to have, and it's nice to stop, step back sometimes, and smell the roses. Okay, so a whole lot going on. We have wood that's been painted. Some of this is for the cross braces. Some of it is for the Riverbank system supports. Some of it's getting ready to be painted, and some reuse of some old wood here, which is going to be up top for the bracing for the lighting system to connect to and to hide the wires. You can see we've got some PVC pipes staged up there, and of course we have the wetland filter started. Where we've gone so far is that the milk crates, or the aqua blocks, whatever you want to call them, the standoff at the bottom is in place. We're putting in the first layer of the larger rocks. I left a little out for here so you can sort of see how it lays on top of there. You can see we have the plumbing going down where it's distributing the water underneath, and then we have the clean outs over here, 2 clean outs over here. So basically what I've been doing is bringing in a bunch of rocks until until the aquarium fit has got me tired, and then I switch to some plumbing work, and then once I recharge, we go get some more rocks, and then next time we switch and we do some cross braces or some lighting, and we're just going to go back and forth until we get this all done. So we're going to add some more braces across here, not that they're to hold the tank, but just to support the plumbing, to give something to connect to. And so that'll be a brace here for that. And then as we go down to the end, we have this one brace with all the holes in it, and that's going to be on the very end, and that's going to support the plumbing and for where the pumps go down. And across the top, so behind these recessed slides of the ceiling, there's basically going to be a black 2x4 all the way across, and I'm going to use that to mount the lights on, but then the wires will go up behind that, and they'll run across, and you see there's 3 outlets on the wall back there, and I'll bring extension cords up and over and try to make that really nice, get a nice straight line across with a black extension cord, mount that up behind that block, and then get everything wired in so that you don't see it. So hopefully you just see a single black beam with lights connected to it. So try to make it clean, make it look nice, but yeah, lots going on. And the cool thing is, oh my God, once this stage is done, it'll be time to start aquascaping this guy. Oh, this is awesome. All right, so we're at the wetland filter end, and you can see we have the 4 channels of plumbing in place. So 1 coming straight out, and then the other 3 staggered. The key is we want to keep all of that pipe along the back, so over the thickness of the tank, and now over the water, but on the back there. And that's going to allow the riverbank to be right in front of it with all the plants effectively hiding all that pipe. Now I will be painting the pipe black. You can see I sprayed some of it, but it's actually easier just to paint it with the paintbrush. So I'm just going to plumb it all, get it run all the way down, and then just go back in and paint. You can see I added another support So this one's going across where the waterfall is, and this is just to support all the plumbing. I have brackets. I'm going to be tying the plumbing, or screwing the plumbing down with the brackets. So it's going across all of these supports all the way down the aquarium, and then you can see at the end there's also a new support down here for the pumps. So this will be where all the pumps are. So plumbing will come all the way across the back and then over and to the pumps. And you can see down here sort of a manufacturing line of things being painted. So the 2x4s in the back there, those are all over here. Those are for the Riverbank system. So those will going to be mounted underneath the supports down most of the aquarium. And these guys here are 1x4s, and these are going to be put onto the ceiling behind those can lights, and that's what's going to hold, that's what I'm going to screw the LED lights into, and then I'll use the little bit of thickness of it to hide the wire. So, there'll be a few lights here, a few lights there, so on and so forth. And then you can see I have the plugs in the back, so it'll be bringing across one extension cord and then plugging in multiple lights, so to keep it clean and then keep that cord, up tight against the ceiling. But yeah, it is coming along big time, because once I fill up the rest of the rocks in there, finish the plumbing, screw in the undermounts and the lights, then it's aquascaping. Then we're into the big time. So it's only not going to take me very long just to extend this plumbing down. That's what I'm going to work on now. I'm going to bring the plumbing all the way down to the end, get it somewhere near here to where I have to do the measuring again to connect it up to the pumps and get them locked down or screwed down. And after that, I'll start on mounting these light brackets. All right, time to break for dinner, but before I do, so we know we have the plumbing cemented in, and we've just painted the top part that'll be visible black. And you can see we have the whole plumbing bundle strapped and tied down, going all the way down and painted black. Let's, well, before I go down there, we're also the mount for the lights up on the ceiling. This is the channel, the black line of wood that's going to go all the way down. That is going to be where we mount the lights and hide a little bit of the cabling. And then just as you can see, the plumbing bundle goes all the way down. And I've just basically left it off down here, and I'll be cutting it to size. So basically, I'll start positioning the pumps underneath here, figure out the exact spacing and bolt this down. And then what's going to happen is all the pumps will be suspended down here. They'll come up through these holes, so the plumbing will come up, back and around and connect to that plumbing over there. So I'll get all the pumps suspended, all the plumbing up, ready to go, and then do the measurements and cut them in. So we are making progress. So I'm going to finish with the braces for the lights all the way down, and then I can either start working on the pumps or the Riverbank system. We are getting very, very close to aquascaping. I'm legit getting excited, getting pumped. Oh yeah, I still need to move another few thousand pounds of rocks in there. Eesh. Okay, for me, I'm back because I had something interrupt the build, but for you guys, this is obviously all in one video. It's just me explaining why this video took so long to get out. So I was on track to have a video released 7 days after the last one, making awesome progress on the 4,500 gallon build, which I'm going to show you in just a second. Until the wife got COVID, and well, that kind of put the kibosh on it. So a few days there where there was taking her to a doctor's appointment and just sort of helping out because she was not feeling well. She's obviously good now, and I am back in the fish basement, but that did kill a good 3 or 4 days of momentum on the build. So yeah, so that's the bad news, but the good news is she's good. A lot of progress has been made on the build, and I'm back full steam. So yeah, it's just the video is going to be 3 or 4 days later than I originally intended, but the 4,500 build is making humongous progress. And the title of this video, "Are you ready?" It's not a joke. we're almost there. I'm going to show you right now, but we are almost aquascaping this bad boy. So are you ready to see this aquascape? Are you ready to get started on this aquascape? Are you ready to get fish this thing? Well, those are the questions because we're close to that. Let me show you where we're at with the build right now. All right, where do we start? With the pumps and the plumbing down there, the structure for the riverbank. Should we start with the light? Let's start with the wetland filter. All right, I'm not going to say it's more than I expected, but moving thousands of pounds of rocks was as tiring as I expected. So where are we at right now? All the big rocks are in, and you can see we've started on the layer of the middle rocks going in. So we're going to have, we've got a foot or so of the big rocks. We're going to get a foot or so of these medium-sized rocks, and then a foot or so of the gravel, which is going to bring us, right up to where we should be, about a foot below. So we're going to have bog plants in here, and usually most of your bog plants prefer a 12 to 18 inch range. We're going to be right at 12 inches where we want it to be. So yeah, wetland filter is coming along, and basically what I'm doing is I'm just bringing some rock, cleaning it up, putting it in here, and then working on something else, and then get the energy bag, rinse and repeat. So this will just slowly fill up, but the important thing is we've got the drain, the clean outs. We've got the plumbing done, so all the water being introduced into the cavity underneath. We got all 4 channels. Everything is cemented up. We have the plumbing running 33 feet down to the other side, and yeah, we have some pumps ready to install. So let's take a look. While we're going down there, yes, those are the lighting. That's the lighting bar with all the lights shining back. Keeping in mind here, not only are we lighting the aquarium, but we're lighting that riverbank because we're going to have a lot of immersed growing plants. And so that's what that's going to achieve. This is kind of rigged up. I ran out of the hooks and everything, and I'm not exactly 100% sure how I want to bring that over. I want to try to get it as clean looking as possible. I have to have the timers and everything for the lights, and there's 2 lights per section, so I'll get that sorted out. Getting it functional won't take long at all, but getting it pretty, I have to figure out what I want to do. But we have lighting. It is there. And again, you can see the bundle of plumbing up there. As we follow that down to the other side, we get all the way down to this new brace we've put in here with the hole. So what's going to happen here is, you can see we have 4 pumps all staged and ready to go with PVC. So what's going to happen is the PVC is going to come through the hole up here, and the pumps will be suspended over here off to the side underneath the water line. So I decided we're going to push the water up. We're going to have the pumps in the water, so we're going to have all the heat from the pumps going directly into the water. We're going to have them drawing directly from the water. We have the screens on the front, which will be easy for me to maintain, and I can also control where they'll be underneath the water line. So we'll basically have our pump vault over here, back under here. Each pump will come up, and right now the thing I'll be working on is connecting the PVC lines over to each pump. Similar to what you saw down there with the drains, there'll basically be a series of lines coming over and connecting to each pump. So I'm working on that now, and the riverbank system. So the boards have been fully inspected, as you can tell. They're all painted up with quite a few coats of black paint, and they're going to be installed underneath the braces, one in the back and then one a little further out. And the method to that madness is that these pond baskets are going to sit in the riverbank system. So they're going to sit on the lip of each side of that, and they're going to be down in the water, so it's going to be down a little bit. So they'll be more like this, to where they're slightly in the water, and then suspended internally by the riverbank system. So you won't see these baskets. It's probably going to be more like that, actually. They'll be right there at the water line, but mostly hidden by the framing of the front of the aquarium. So all on the back, we will have these baskets suspended up there, and that's going to hold all of the plants there to make up that riverbank system. And the water level will be, somewhere like around like this, so those roots can get down into the water, and then we have the plants growing up and out of the aquarium. So pulling out all those nutrients, looking awesome. Again, once it's all finished, you won't see any of that. You'll just see plants growing out and performing a valuable service for the aquarium. So what I'm going to work on now is, periodically bringing in more rocks, installing that Riverbank system, getting the lights all hooked up so we can turn those on and show you what it looks like, and get that plumbing finished. So I'm going to do all that, and then we will check back. And yes, my inspector is ready to go. All right, we are full on build mode right now. So like I'm talking about, I'm adding rock to the wetland filter until I get tired, or my back gets tired. Then I'm coming down here and working on wiring and everything for the lights. And then I'm painting blocks and prepping filters to be installed. And you can see we have, sorry, I said filters to be installed, pumps. So one pump is installed right now, some temporary blocking. Once I do all the plumbing up here, connect it into the tubes, which are taking it down to the wetland filter, I'll see what this area looks like, and I'll create a very large block, painted black, that I can slide in there to support all that. And the same thing is actually going to happen down there. So in addition to working on that, let me take you outside and, oh, real quick, you can see here the mini split is not there yet. So this room is actually just being heated by the overflow heat from the main aquarium basement, which surprisingly, I don't even have the heaters on yet. It really don't need them until I get under about 32 degrees where I live. It's so well insulated, there's so much equipment in there that it keeps that room at 77, and just blowing that air into the annex is keeping the annex at 73, 74. So it's pretty good. I may actually try running just the dehumidifier out here with all the heat from that and see how that does when we get some colder temperatures. Just sort of some experiments. But also too, once this room gets turned on and all these big aquariums start producing heat from the lights and from the pumps and everything, it's hard, it's going to be a lot like the main basement, I believe, where it doesn't take a whole lot to heat it once you have that many big tanks running. So let me take you outside here and show you the process. So for the wetland filter, so I've basically just taken wheelbarrows full of rocks, washing them down, scooping them up, putting in these buckets, taking them inside the annex, and then pouring them in there. And like I said, basically I just keep doing that till my lower back gets tired, and then I switch over to plumbing and lighting, just back and forth. But sort of show you the process a little bit. I'm gonna get all this stuff tied up. We'll take a look at everything because, yeah, after this work session right now, I think we're gonna be ready for aquascaping. But yeah, let me get it done first, and then I'll show you everything, and then we'll talk about next steps. Because are you ready for the 4,500 gallon to go live? Because we are getting close. I know I'm ready. I know I'm excited. All right, we'll be back to work. So yeah, something is looking different about the aquarium. There has been some serious progress on the tank. Let's go inside the tank and let me show you. Okay, let's see where to start. Well, let's start with the wetland filter. So as you can see, the rock fairies haven't visited me yet and deposited all the rock from my driveway into the wetland filter, but I'm making progress, slowly but surely. All the big rock is done, and each one gets easier because we have the smaller rocks and then the smallest on top. So I'm just going to keep plugging away, each day, adding some more rocks. The key stuff is done. You can see all the plumbing is in place, all the tubes that are going to be delivering the water underneath the standoff cavity down there, underneath all the milk crates. That's all done. The cleanouts are in place, so just a matter of filling it up with rock. So, wetland filter is, quote unquote done. Just needs me to pile in more rocks. So plumbing, yeah, we see the plumbing goes all the way down there, but we also see these guys right here. So you've heard me talk about the Riverbank system, and these boards here are the Riverbank system. And probably a better way to show that is, let's go down a little further. Okay, so what are the Riverbank system? The Riverbank system is two things. One, it's the location that I can put all of these pot plants, or plant pots, for all of the monstera and peace lilies and all that good stuff that's going to create this giant 33-foot long, lush, riverbank of vegetation with all the roots going down into the water and taking out all the nutrients. So it's going to look great. It's going to give that top cover for the fish, and it's going to take nutrients out of the water. And it's important that we want to have light here and light down into the aquarium. So that's why we have all the lights at an angle, so they're shining down into the aquarium and back onto that riverbank, and they're going to give us some wicked shading in here with the water flow and the light going through the leaves and all that good stuff. So it's going to be really cool. We'll have a nice bright area out here. We'll get some, some filter lighting underneath the riverbank here. And to make that riverbank more realistic, not only are there going to be plants growing out and roots coming down, these are also mount points for me to have wood root coming down in the aquarium. So it's going to give me a lot of ability to do a lot of cool things. And it does go all the way down the aquarium. You can see the middle section here. It was just getting the last coat of paint, so I haven't installed that, but I'm working on the last section. Let's go down there. Okay, so this is the inner piece of the riverbank system, and you can look down and just imagine 33 feet of plants and everything. It's going to be amazing. All the wood root coming down, plant root, and then of course that wetland filter is going to be all planted too. So there's going to be a ton of vegetation where it can benefit the aquarium, look awesome, and not get destroyed by big giant cichlids. And of course, you know, there's 33 feet of it, so it is pretty extensive. But let's follow the plumbing down. So okay, we've got the riverbank is almost done. The wetland filter, it's almost done. Yeah, we're calling it done for the video because I just need to screw in a few more boards, add a few more rock. I mean, there's no technical details that need to be achieved. It's just a little bit of grunt work. Plumbing, again, same thing. Plumbing is done. All of our pumps are plumbed in. These are detachable, so this is my, so these here are detachable, which essentially is a union valve, so the bottom can come off if you ever need to take the pump off. And we're all plumbed up. You can see we have 4 pumps sending 4 lines of water down to the wetland filter. And this is essentially, we're calling like the pump vault area. We're going to be pulling top water. We want to have it low enough that we don't ever, you know, create the suction on the surface, but we want to be pulling top water, and we're going to do a lot with pumps to keep everything moving this way and up into the vault, into the pump vault here. And with the pumps being black and the pipe being black and the background being black, it disappears pretty well into the side of the tank here. And again, I'm calling it done for the video, but yes, I need to do some touch-up painting on the plumbing just to make it look nice, but for all intents and purposes, you know, it's ready, it's done. I'm ready to move on to, I have a little bit more work, like I said, a few boards here, a little bit of rock, a little bit of paint on the pipes, but I'll be starting on the aquascape right after this video. And then lastly, the lighting. You can see all the way down, we have our light bar up here, or basically our beam where we can anchor all the lights into. We have power cords coming across so we can run 3 lights per section if we want. Right now we're running 2 lights per section. I mean, of course I could always increase that as well, but right now it's set up for 3 per section. I have 2 set right now. I can add a 3rd if necessary. So far so good though with these. And yeah, so that's wetland filter done, plumbing done, riverbank done, lighting done. So it took longer than expected to get this video out, and anyone who watched the whole video in the middle, you know why, but you can see that a ton of progress has been made. Even though there's a few things that are effectively done, they're done. I just wanted to get the video out, so I had to stop working so I could complete the filming and editing and everything, but by the time you're seeing this, I've already done all those things. In fact, I'm probably doing them the same night that the video is being compiled and everything. Just while it's encoding, I'm in there finishing up those steps, you know. So it is done. We are ready for aquascaping. So when I say, are you ready? So are you ready for this 4,500 gallon to start getting an aquascape? 33 feet of aquascape? That's a lot of aquascape. Plus, no fewer than a dozen times have I said this aquascape is going to be something. So I got something to live up to. I definitely, I counted it as being something, so I got to come through, right? But yeah, I have a ton of stuff going in there. Again, if it's even half as good as the picture in my head, it's going to look pretty good. and it's the last thing before we add water and turn everything on and get the fish over. So we are really close. So are you ready for a 4,500 gallon big cichlid Amazonian Xingu River aquarium with the upper, middle, and lower sections? Well, it is very close. So you're going to want to see the next video for sure. And guess what? I have a couple days off next week, so that should mean fast progress on the build. Let's cross our fingers and hope so. Hopefully there's no more interruptions, because I would love nothing more than to get this bad boy running. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys soon.